Now, this investigation is still ongoing, and again, they do believe that this was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, so there's no need, they say, for residents to be afraid right now, that there's not a suspect out on the loose, and we'll be getting more information as this investigation continues, so be sure to stick with Newswatch for the very latest. One of the complaints students have about the move is the lack of an engineering building, right? Exactly. And that's where students interested in chemical and computer engineering can learn new skills. The expo is open until 8 p.m. tonight, so come on out. You can get a ticket and hopefully win this adorable little bundle of joy. She is very sweet, and I may not give her up. You've still got time to head out here and kick off the first day of skiing here at Winter Place. And Alex, I'll be back at the station as soon as I can thaw out enough to move. Well, Alex, as you can see behind me, many volunteers are working right now to put together over 2,000 meals to help feed those less fortunate. Now, this event wasn't supposed to start until 11:30, but by 6:15 a.m., almost 1,000 people were lined up outside the store. General Manager Kathy Hausch says the crowds haven't been too bad this year, but a lot of customers are finding shelves in the same state as this one, empty. Now, each child that participated in today's program got to spend $100 total, and that was divided up into $50 for clothes and $50 for toys.
I'm terrified, and I see the little kids going around and the older people, and it should make me feel better, but it doesn't.
That was the general consensus Saturday afternoon at the Blue Bend Recreation Area in Monongahela National Forest. About 60 people decided to take the plunge and dive into the freezing waters of Anthony Creek. Why, you ask, would someone do this to themselves? For a good cause. All of the money from the event goes directly to the Child and Youth Advocacy Center, which provides guidance, protection, and help to children and families dealing with abuse. And if that isn't a good enough reason for you, the plunge is also dedicated to someone very special to Polar Bear Club President Christian Giggenbach, his mother.
She was a very fun-loving person, and she would love to jump into the creek. And so after she died, I started the club in honor of her. It occurs she died on March 8th, every Saturday the closest to March 8th. And it's kind of a way of honoring my mother, and we have a good time.
And let me tell you, this water is plenty cold. It's about 36 degrees. And Catherine Thompson, the executive director of the CYAC, says that these plunger sacrifice is very appreciated. They've raised about $10,000 today, and that's going to go to help a lot of children.
This event is so critically important. I can't emphasize that enough. Because we are a nonprofit organization, we rely very heavily on private donations and support from our local community.
So just how does it feel to immerse yourself in 36-degree water? Several participants say they had to remind themselves that this was for a good cause.
It's an experience, that's for sure.
It was like astonishingly cold. It really knocks your breath out, and then you find your way back.
Run straight to the towel.
Yeah.
In Monongahela National Forest, I'm Rachel Ayers for Newswatch. Well, John, most people just wanted to get out of the house. You can see behind me the roads are by no means perfect, but they're definitely better today than they were yesterday, which has allowed people to get out and get rid of some of that cabin fever. Several people were out and about today despite the continuing snow, many of them just wanting to walk around, others walking to the store because they didn't feel safe enough to drive. A couple of kids I ran into are trying to make a couple of bucks by shoveling driveways. They said even if people don't have a lot of money, they still do their driveway for free.
We'll try to make extra money for them to get out so they can go places.
It's been kind of slow because it's still snowing. They tell us to come back tomorrow.
Now, if you don't have someone to clear your driveway, unfortunately that means you got to do it yourself, and you can see here just how deep this snow is. That's why it's a good idea to spray your shovel with some Pam cooking spray so that it doesn't stick on your shovel like it is on this one. You're also going to want to shovel in layers. If you go for it all at once, it's going to be much harder and strenuous on your body. So stay warm out there and be safe as you try to dig your way out after this storm. In Oak Hill, I'm Rachel Ayers for Newswatch. Todd, back to you. It was a moment never before seen. Paige Hunter of the West Virginia Air National Guard was promoted to Brigadier General, making her the first female general officer in the state. Hunter has served our country for 34 years, receiving several awards and decorations along the way. Although she has been the first woman to hold most of her military titles, Hunter says making history was never what it was about for her.
But I didn't really think about being a woman doing it. It was just, this is my job, and I need to do this. And then when I became a commander, and that's when I had asked my husband and my dad, I think I want to apply for that. Do you think I can do it? And they both were like, absolutely. And then Dad said the command with compassion, and Rick said, keep doing what you're doing.
And several state officials came out to show their support for the now general. Both of our state senators were here to congratulate her, and they say they are looking forward to seeing even more out of her.
It's really about what kind of person she is and what kind of leader she is, rather than just that she's a woman. She's just a great, I think, exemplary West Virginian. But I think today she's broken through that ceiling, and I think she'll serve to be a good role model for many women to come.
I've watched her do the job she's done representing our state and our country. Unbelievable. It's time. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I'm here to see it happen. And I think she's just paved the way for many, many young women that are serving our country so gallantly.
Regardless of her intentions, Hunter has certainly paved the way for more women to follow in her footsteps, and that impact will not soon be forgotten. In Charleston, I'm Rachel Ayers for Newswatch.